Hello. I don't know what they're putting in the communion wine recently, but I'll bet you it's not grapes. Here we are. Church of England hands over £100 million as it apologises for British slavery. Deeply sorry for shameful past, it says here. Shameful past. Now, how about the shameful present? Because there's quite a lot wrong with the church right now, and maybe you could be using that money to help parishioners in distress, to give comfort to people who need spiritual guidance. So what in fact you're doing here, what's next page? Yes, it says here, it will seek to do this through committing £100 million of funding delivered over the next 9 years, commencing in 2023, which is now, to a programme of investment, research and engagement. Right, now let's just get this straight. We've got a new impact investment fund, and you know, when you've got impact investment funds, you have to pay people to impact the investment, or invest the impact, or something. Anyway, experts, that's the word. You've got to get experts. And of course you have to pay experts a lot of money to do this. It says the fund will grow over time. Oh yeah, like. And further research. Oh yeah, that means paying people in universities and think tanks to do research into the history of the church. You know, you can't just get some vicar who's doing this in his spare time. No, you have to. I mean, this is where £100 million comes in really handy, doesn't it? And I'm Granniopteryx, interrupting myself to tell you that I am on YouTube, Rumble, BitChute and Minds. All the links are in the description. I am also on Twitter, Gab and Parler, because I use those to notify you when there's a new video up. Apparently YouTube is a bit lax about that. Please help my channel by liking this video, by sharing it and by subscribing. Again, if you're on YouTube, check your subscription is still active. Sometimes that drops as well. All right, yes, you can also help me financially, buy me a coffee or one of the other links. Again, in the description, they're all there. Back to His Grace the Archbishop of Canterbury et al. I mean, this is where £100 million comes in really handy, doesn't it? Supporting dioceses, cathedrals and parishes, not to pray, not to look after the poor and the sick, but to research and address their historic links with slavery. Well, of course, that is value for money, isn't it? Yeah, the next bit is the backlash. Well, there are always going to be some retrogressive priests who really think that any money the church gets should be put back into the parishioners, into the fabric of the churches, into not closing churches down, but to paying the vicars. It says here, Church of England's slavery reparation sparks fury from within its own ranks. We keep being told there's no money, says many, but this particular guy, Reverend Marcus Walker, warned people will be put off donating to the church. Oh, for sure. How do you think people are going to feel when the collection plate comes round and then they know that money is going to go for telling them what beastly awful people they are? Now, I want to give you a personal example. During one of the many lockdowns in London, I have an old friend. He was actually staying with us over Christmas. An old friend I shall call Simon, okay? And he's quite an elderly man, and he was on his own. He's a widower. He was on his own during the lockdown. And I was writing letters to him once a week. And then at one point he didn't reply to anything. And I tried ringing him and there was no reply to the phone. So I was very worried about him. And there was lockdown, so I couldn't I didn't know any of the phone numbers of the neighbours. I knew one once upon a time, but that guy had moved. So that was a non-starter. So I thought I'd try and ring the local Church of England church, which I know happens to be just about 4 minutes walk from where Simon lives. I tried ringing the church. I got nothing. There was an answer phone saying the church is closed down until further notice. That was the basic. There wasn't even a number for the vicar. Or rather, there was a number for the vicar, but it didn't work. And so I started ringing round all the churches in the area. I thought somebody might know Simon and might be able to help me, even if it just meant walking round to his house and shouting up at his bedroom window. It turned out, by the way, that Simon, who has hearing aids, he wasn't answering the phone because his hearing aids had broken down and he couldn't get them repaired because of the lockdown. He was, so I was ringing round. I finally found a church where the vicar, or the minister rather, answered. It was a nonconformist small church in some sort of a private property. It wasn't even a proper church building. And this guy said he'd find a parishioner who lived nearby who might be able to go round and just ascertain that Simon was all right. Well, that was the help I got from the Church of England, which was zero, zilch, nada, nothing. And it is that makes people donate, that encourages people to donate to the church. Or not, as in my case. So it says here, Reverend Marcus Walker, who's talking about this, says £100 million is a lot of money, and we keep hearing that there's no money left. Well, yeah. I want to talk about this as well. This happened around Christmas time. I've had it hanging around in the back of my mind for a while. This is the church that's giving comfort to people. Changing lyrics to Christmas carol about Jesus's birth. You know that one, God rest ye merry gentlemen? Or I don't know why they called it merry gentlemen now. It should be merry people of no discernible gender, I think. God rest you, queer and questioning, your anxious hearts be still, believe that you are deeply known and part of God's good will, for all to live as one in peace, the global dream fulfilled. I like the way they use the word global there. Right, God rest ye, you also, women, who by men have been erased. Well, yeah, they're really getting erased now, aren't they? I mean, who knows what a woman is? Through history, ignored and scorned, defiled and displaced. Ah, that doesn't scan. Well, bad poetry, you know. Remember that your stories too are held within God's grace. Okay. This is what the Church of England is wasting its time on. And Marcus Walker says, I repeat, 100 million is a lot of money. We keep hearing there is no money left. And quite frankly, the way that Justin Welby is going on, there'll be no church left quite soon. All right, till next time. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the granniopteryx design or Grambo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.granniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share, share, share.